the classic joke among security researchers is there are two kinds of people. People who have been hacked and people who don't know that they have been hacked. The interesting thing is these criminals have realized that they should be doing business to business rather than business to consumer. Because, consumers, they might give you 50 euros. If you really, lucky, you might get 100 euros out of them. But businesses, they are sitting ducks. So this hospital, for example, is one of the many hospital, I don't know what you know about hospital ICT security, but let me tell you, there's a lot of work that still needs to be done there. The criminals now, once they have a machine infected, they no longer just encrypt it and give you the ransom message. What they now do is they call back to the criminal command and control server, and they will first try to figure out what the network is that this machine is in. And if they find it's a corporate network, they increase the ransom demand. Okay, you might think, well, if this happens to me, I will go to the police. Well, the police is also paying ransom to criminals. They have the same shoddy ICT security that many of us have, so that's not going to be much help. Let me give you another example. A shipping company like DHL, UPS, there are many of those. They got hacked, and they got hacked by pirates. And I don't mean online pirates, I mean real pirates on the sea. Okay, so we tend to think of those as very low-tech, people in small fishing boats going up to the trailer with a machine gun. And yes, that still happens, but now they have some intel. Before they go onto the ship, they actually know which of the containers have the valuable goods that they are interested in. So even the pirates are innovating in the digital transformation. So if you look at the actual damages associated with cybercrime and the digital economy, they're very proportional. So the digital economy is growing and therefore cybercrime is growing. But they are actually more or less proportional to each other. So security is an arms race. You have to constantly invest and adapt. But it's definitely not a lost battle, which is some of the sort of more alarmist stories that you may hear. So how can you then manage it? Well, the short answer is it depends, because every company is different and the complexity of these technologies is so high that every standard recipe is wrong. In fact, if I can have you take one message away from this, is don't treat this as a compliance issue. Don't just say, oh, we have ISO blah, 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 and we have security standard blah, 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 and I've checked all the boxes, and therefore I'm pretty sure I'm okay. No, in fact, all the major breaches of the past years, Target, Office of Personnel Management, JP Morgan Chase, the list is endless, they were all audited and fully compliant with the security regulations that were relevant to them. So there is one group of people you can actually recruit for free to tell you more about where your vulnerabilities are. It's hackers. So you might think, well, that doesn't sound so attractive, asking hackers to go after my systems. Yeah, you might want to put some rules in place, but there is a process called responsible disclosure that increasingly businesses are adopting as a way to learn more about the weaknesses in their services. So Dutch banks, for example, have been doing this now for 2 years, and they get strangers from all over the world reporting vulnerabilities in the services and websites of the banks to them directly. Tens of thousands of vulnerabilities each year. Now, many of them are small things that could never really be leveraged for a big attack, but still they're good to get out of the way. And some things are mind-blowing. They could not imagine that this would be possible, and it turns out it is. And these hackers do the right thing. They don't try to attack you, they will actually inform you about it, and in some cases they get a reward. So the banks have started paying bounties, as they call it in this world. So you can actually engage this community that potentially would attack you in a very productive way if you do it properly.